The galactic cruise ship Stellar Horizon hummed through the void between star systems, carrying diplomats, traders, and tourists from 100 different worlds. In the observation deck's dining hall, Nancy Martinez sat across from her colleague Parker Chen, both human representatives from Earth's recently established Interstellar Relations Department. "I still can't believe they don't have a single meat dish on this entire ship," Parker muttered, scrolling through the holographic menu projected above their table. Around them, various alien species consumed their meals, the Vixilians sipping nutrient paste, the Corthians absorbing solar radiation through their crystalline skin, and the Quillari delicately picking at plates of bioluminescent fungi. Nancy shrugged, spearing what appeared to be a purple vegetable analog. "It's a diplomatic vessel, Parker. They have to cater to the lowest common denominator. Most species in the Galactic Council are herbivores or energy feeders." "Yeah, well, I'd kill for a burger right now." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion near the viewport. A group of Drachner massive reptilian creatures standing nearly 8 feet tall, with scales like burnished copper and eyes that glowed amber, had gathered, their deep rumbling voices expressing what sounded like concern. Ambassador Zelther, a Drachner diplomat Nancy had met during the welcoming ceremony, approached their table with heavy, measured steps. The creature's predatory grace was undeniable, even in the formal robes of office. "Human Nancy." "Human Parker," Zelther's translator rendered his gravelly voice into Earth standard. "I must warn you. We have received distress signals from the cargo bay. A void serpent has somehow infiltrated the ship." Parker and Nancy exchanged glances. They'd read about void serpents in their xenobiology briefings, massive creatures that lived in the frozen vacuum of space, capable of tearing through ship hulls with their diamond-hard fangs. Apex predators that had terrorized spacefaring civilizations for millennia. "The crew is attempting to seal off the affected sections," Zelther continued, his tail lashing with barely contained fear. "All passengers must return to their quarters immediately. Even we Drachner, the greatest hunters of our home world, know better than to face a void serpent in close quarters." As if on cue, the ship's alarm began blaring. Red emergency lights bathed the dining hall. Passengers scrambled toward the exits in a controlled panic. The Drachner, despite their formidable appearance, moved with the urgency of prey animals fleeing a predator. Parker stood, but not to flee. "Nancy, you thinking what I'm thinking?" A slow smile spread across Nancy's face. "Fresh meat." Zelther's translator emitted a sound of confusion. You jest, surely. The void serpent is death incarnate. Its scales can deflect plasma fire. Its venom can dissolve titanium alloys. Entire military units have perished attempting to kill even a juvenile specimen. "Ambassador," Nancy said, pulling up her sleeve to reveal her personal data pad. "On Earth, we have a saying, everything's food if you're brave enough." "Parker, you still have those emergency supplies in your quarters? The hunting rifle?" "Yeah, never travel without it. And I've got my grandpa's fillet knife." Zelther's eyes widened to the size of dinner plates. "You cannot mean to hunt it, to consume it." "Why not?" Parker was already heading toward the exit. "I've been craving protein all week." "How big did you say these things get?" "The one detected is approximately 12 meters long, massing nearly 3 tons. Nancy did quick mental math. "That's a lot of steaks." "Parker, think we can fit it in the cargo freezer?" "We'll make it work." The two humans departed, leaving Zelther standing in stunned silence. Within moments, the ambassador was broadcasting on the diplomatic channel, warning all species to witness what was either supreme courage or complete insanity. 45 minutes later, the cargo bay doors opened. Parker and Nancy emerged, covered in thick, crystalline ichor that glimmered even under the fluorescent lights. Behind them, they dragged the massive corpse of the void serpent, its obsidian scales gleaming, its 3 rows of teeth forever frozen in a final snarl. A crowd had gathered: the crew, the passengers, even the captain, elderly Morphean whose gaseous form swirled with colors of disbelief. "How?" Zelther breathed. "How did you? No weapon we possess can penetrate their hide." Parker grinned, holding up an old-fashioned ballistic rifle. "Armor-piercing rounds. We learned a long time ago that sometimes the old ways work best. Hit it right behind the 3rd cranial plate." That's where most vertebrate analogs keep their brain stem. And the venom? Asked a Quillari scientist, her tendrils trembling. The acidic blood. Nancy held up her gloved hands. Rubber, chemically inert. We've been dealing with acidic compounds since we invented industry. But the ferocity, Zelder insisted. The sheer predatory instinct. Yeah, it was pretty aggressive, Parker admitted. Reminded me of the time I went crocodile hunting in Australia. Anyway, Captain, we were wondering if you could spare some freezer space. This should feed the whole human delegation for the rest of the voyage. The captain's gaseous form turned a shade of deep purple, that the translator interpreted as profound confusion. You intend to eat it? Well, yeah, Nancy said. We didn't kill it just for sport. That would be wasteful. Though we'll probably mount the head that'll look great in the embassy back on Earth. But it's a void serpent, a Vexillian passenger shouted. A creature of nightmares, an apex predator. Parker looked genuinely confused. So humans are apex predators too. Actually, we're the apex predator on our world. We didn't get to the top of the food chain by being squeamish, Nancy nodded. Besides, I looked up the nutritional data. High protein, low fat, probably tastes like a cross between lobster and venison. Parker, you want to grill it or should we go with a slow roast? Depends on the marbling. Let's butcher it first and see what we're working with. As the two humans casually discussed cooking methods for a creature that had been the subject of horror stories across the galaxy, Zelder found himself reevaluating everything he thought he knew about Earth's newest members. To the Galactic Council, Ambassador, his aide whispered, Should we be concerned? Zelder watched as Parker produced an alarmingly large knife and began expertly field dressing the void serpent with the casual confidence of someone who'd done this 1,000 times before. Concerned? Zelder rumbled. No, terrified. Perhaps, but also grateful they're on our side. That evening, the ship's chef Quillari, who had initially refused to even look at the serpent's carcass, found himself instructing Nancy on proper temperature control for alien meat. Parker had marinated several cuts in a mixture of earth spices and Vexillian wine. The smell that eventually wafted through the dining hall was unlike anything the galactic community had experienced. Rich, savory, with notes of char and exotic seasoning. When Zelder was offered a small portion, his predator instincts long suppressed by civilization roared to life. The taste was transcendent. By the eternal stars, he whispered. What have you done? Nancy smiled, cutting another piece. We introduced you to Earth cuisine. Welcome to the food chain, Ambassador. We're just happy to share. As word spread throughout the stellar horizon, a line began forming outside the dining hall. Species that had never consumed flesh before found themselves curious. The humans, it seemed, had brought more than diplomacy to the stars. They'd brought humanity's oldest tradition, the dinner table, where even the most fearsome predator became nothing more than the evening's meal. End.